Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Siddhantot Pala Saranitya Rasikam Hangsam Vilasatmakam Audaryakya Sudhama Sevaka Dhanam Vishrambha Bhakti Pradam Yacha Yukti Vichakshanam Tvaghabido Vaishishta Shaktya Sada Vandeham Tripurari Namakayatim Shri Bhakti Vedantinam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namah Gurvagyam Shirasi Dritva Shaktya Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachatarine Vishvacharya Pravaryaya Divya Karunya Murtaye Shri Bhagavatam Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayine Gaura Shri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevine Radha Krishna Padam Bhoja Bringaya Gurave Namaha Devam Divyatanum Suchandavadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vandetam Shubhadam Adeka Sharanam Nyasishwaram Shridharam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitro Sangdo Tamonado Harer Nama Harer Nama Eva Kevalam Kalau Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata. So pranam again. Today is the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Maharaj. So I thought to just say a few words about him and then read a section from his biography. My Guru Maharaj has said that this biography is like the best of its genre. And I'm assuming he means it's the best Vaishnav biography, like the best written Vaishnav biography. So Srila Puri Maharaj was a Shiksha Guru of my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Tripurari Swami. And he left this world in 1999. And my Guru Maharaj had been hearing from him since around 1990. He has told this story that my Guru Maharaj, that he was in Vrindavan that year in 1990, and he was feeling bereft that he didn't have any more the association of any disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then the same day he got the news that this Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Maharaj was visiting the Devananda Gaudiya Math, or the Keshavji Gaudiya Math, sorry, in Mathura. So my Guru Maharaj went there as he remembered him. He remembered Puri Maharaj from the time that he visited Srila Shira Maharaj, because Puri Maharaj was also coming to Chaitanya Saraswat Math regularly. And my Guru Maharaj said that when he came into Keshavji Gaudiya Math to see Puri Maharaj, Puri Maharaj was very absorbed in the bhajan of Narottam Das Thakur, Kabe Habe Bolo Se, I believe, Gauranga Bolite Habe. And when there was like an opportunity to ask for questions, Puri Maharaj was not like really like present. He was very absorbed, and like, he kind of just answered any questions like briefly, but he was very like internally oriented at that moment, which anyway left a deep impression in my Guru Maharaj, who then kept going there to hear from Puri Maharaj, and also brought others there to hear. He also received a few mantras from him for worshipping Krishna Balaram, as Puri Maharaj's temple later on in Vrindavan was the Dauji Mandir, so it's an old temple of Balaram. Yes, so my Guru Maharaj didn't join the mission of Puri Maharaj, but he was anyway going there regularly, and he brought people there to be initiated, who then kind of made Puri Maharaj famous around the world. So these are some things. Guru Maharaj has shared some kind of sweet details of his dealings with Puri Maharaj, like how sometimes Puri Maharaj has told him small things about his bhajan and worship. There was one time he just told my Guru Maharaj that he said something like, "I used to have a Govardhan Shila, and I painted it blue." So just a very small, sweet detail. There's also the story where my Guru Maharaj brought Puri Maharaj the poem of Srila Prabhupada that he wrote on the Jaladuta, prayer to the lotus feet of Krishna. And Puri Maharaj became very excited while reading it and said that this is Sakhya Bhav. And my Guru Maharaj then asked Puri Maharaj, just shared with him that some people think it's a problem if Prabhupada was in Sakhya Rasa, because then if people are interested in Madhurya Rasa, they can't learn about that from Prabhupada. And Srila Puri Maharaj responded that if you have a guru who is in any rasa, no matter what rasa it is, and you think you have a problem, then you have a problem. Because his point was like most gurus don't have any rasa at all. And if someone has connection with any rasa, then he can. That means if you're connected with if you have one Vraja rasa, then you're connected with all the other rasas, and you can guide and direct people to whatever rasa they are interested in. So yeah, so I will be reading from this biography called A Life of Devotion. It was put together by Deva Mai Dasi, I believe she's a disciple of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And as I mentioned earlier here, this biography, my Guru Maharaj calls the best Vaishnava biography. But I'll be reading a section. Devamaya has compiled and I believe translated entries from Puri Maharaja's own diary. So that's intriguing. So it's like short excerpts, but from different years. Let's see. So it starts in 1941. So on March 1st, Srila Puri Maharaj writes, the day before yesterday, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, Shripad Nishikanta Sanyal played his pastime of disappearance at the Gaudiya Mat. Yesterday morning at 10:30, his Vaishnav rites were performed. So he's telling about a god brother who passed away, and he's speaking about it as a lila. He calls it the pastime of disappearance. That is an interesting topic because, like normally people take birth by karma. But then you hear that like the difference is between Jivas and Krishna is that Krishna also appears in this world, but out of his own accord. And when it comes to Vaishnavas, there is like a gradation. Like maybe a beginner Vaishnava is still under karma, but the karma is being managed by Shri Guru. So it is like kind of a beginning way of entering Krishna Lila. It's like that your journey as a sadhaka has like Krishna's hand is somehow in there through Shri Guru. Next entry is on April 6. And Srila Puri Maharaj writes, last night in the small hours, I saw Puri and Vrindavan in my dream. When I saw Keshi Tirtha in Vrindavan, I remembered the Ma Prekshika verse in my dream. In Puri, I saw the ocean. I saw the deities very clearly as if I were in the temple. While I was having darshan of the deities, I was getting goosebumps. So this is very intimate. Of course, it is said that one should not share one's bhajan. And of course, this was not meant to be shared. This is kind of similar to this poem of Srila Prabhupada that I mentioned before, the prayer to the lotus feet of Krishna. That was also not meant for publication, but later disciples have found it and published. And of course, it's the same with these diary entries. It's not. It was not meant for others to read. It's Srila Puri Maharaj just for his own sake, writing down his dreams and memories. And he said when he saw Keshi Tirtha, I believe it's the same as Keshi Ghat in Vrindavan. So he saw Keshi Ghat in his dream, and that brought a verse to his mind that has something with Ma Prekshika in it. I don't know. I was trying to find the verse, but I couldn't. But it intrigued me, so I'm going to keep trying. So he saw that place in his dream, and he thought of that verse, and then he he saw Jagannath Puri in his dream, and he saw the ocean, and he saw. He just said he saw the deities. He didn't say what deities, but I'm assuming he's talking still about Jagannath Puri, where he also later on opened a temple. So he just said that he had darshan of deities very clearly, as if he was in the temple and he was getting goosebumps. So that's one of the ecstatic symptoms. On May 26, he wrote, "Today I was invited to give Harikatha in the house of," then the name is taken away, "on the occasion of Upanayana, the ceremony of awarding the sacred thread to a Brahmana. They gave me something to eat after the Harikatha, but I brought it home with me and did not touch any of it. It has always been forbidden for us even to drink water given by those who worship many demigods and eat what should not be eaten." So Srila Puri Maharaj here, as you can see, he was very strict, also very polite, like he didn't refuse the food given to him. So he brought it with him, and then he disposed of it when he got home. This is, of course, if you're very finely tuned in, then you would notice very well what the food that you eat kind of does to you. There are some people who will only eat like their own cooking. There is an example of that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavat, with this Brahmin who visits Mahaprabhu's family when he was a kid, when Mahaprabhu was a child, and he keeps this Brahmana is invited by Jagannath Mishra to cook and offer it to his deity and then eat, but Mahaprabhu always comes and eats the bhoga before it's offered. So Jagannath Mishra like tells him, no, please cook again. So this Brahmana, he cooks again, and Mahaprabhu comes and eats the bhoga. And of course, like in the end, Mahaprabhu tells him that he tells this Brahmana that like, you were offering this food to Vishnu, and that's why I came and ate it. And he gave this Brahmana like a darshan that he was Vishnu. So anyway, this Brahmana is an example of someone like you cook as part of your own bhajan, you cook for your deity, and then so that kind of meditation that you put into the food, you eat that, so that you kind of recycle your meditation, and in that way you don't get influenced by others' minds. Like you stay very focused on your own bhajan. So on June 6, Maharaj wrote, "Today I was in Thakur Bari. So was mother. The wife of Pachu Thakur wanted me to initiate her. I told her I do not initiate anyone." So that was the entry. Very simple. This is there are like many stories like this of Vaishnavas kind of having as their standard to not give initiation. It is, of course, it is out of humility. They feel that if they would give initiation, it's like someone else's spiritual life is becomes then like my responsibility. If I give someone initiation, that's my responsibility now, and that can be very, very disturbing. Then if you can't be sure maybe that this disciple is going to follow, because then that will affect your spiritual life also. On June 16, he wrote, "Today I came to Srila Maharaja's ashram. Vinod Bihari, the one who later became Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, it says here in parentheses, left today for Calcutta via Krishnanagar. Mahananda Prabhu went to Krishnanagar. Today there will be a court case there. Goswami Maharaj came from Calcutta." So he's basically just telling who was coming and who was leaving from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the temple there of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. On June 24, he wrote, "Today I started forth for Sri Navadvip Dham from Howrah. In the afternoon, I reached Shripad Sridhar Maharaja's Bhajan Kutir in Manipur Ghat. Shripad Yayavar Maharaj had been to Champahati. Naraharida, Sridhar Maharaj, and Ramdas Prabhu were there. While traveling on the train, I met Abhay Prabhu, and this means the one we call Srila Prabhupada. So he met Prabhupada on the train. This is, you can just imagine how beautiful this is, like when these disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta were around in the Navadvip area, and you could like meet someone like Prabhupada just on the train. After coming to Mayapur, I bathed in the Ganga. My heart is soothed by having come to Sridham after a long time. I have been suffering for a long time from this illness that is giving me a lot of pain. Yet coming to Sridham, I feel I have gained a new life. In Sridhar Maharaja's ashram, Shri Giridhari, Shri Navadvip Chandra, Shri Shri Radha Govinda, and Shri Gurudev are being worshipped. So he's describing the altar there at Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. On July 18, he writes, "Today I took the evening train from Ganganandapur to Calcutta. Then I arrived at the Gaudiya Vedanta Mat. There I gave Vinod Bihari 6 articles on the Amnaya Sutra, etc., from the Upanishads and Dashamula Nirjas." So Vinoda here, it was explained before that that's Keshava Maharaj, the one who gave Prabhupada sannyas later. And Puri Maharaj was giving him 6 articles. So this is probably for some Gaudiya Mat magazine, because Puri Maharaj was very much involved with the different publications of the Gaudiya Mat. At some point, they even had like a daily magazine. So every day they would print the magazine and go out and sell it, like at the train station or in the city, with articles about Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Of course, that story has been told many times, that someone was questioning Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that why, how can you publish, how can you find enough material to publish like a Gaudiya Vaishnav newspaper like every day? And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that that I could publish one every minute, but there's just not enough customers. and he made the point that like in any small town in the world has a daily newspaper. So just like imagine the spiritual world, how much news you can find from there. So continuing, on August 20, today after 2:30 p.m., Krishnapad Prabhu, Purna Pragya Prabhu, Hari Vinod, and I went to Diamond Harbor. There we went to the Ukil Palli, and I read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Sanatan Shikshamrita at the house of the lawyer Girija Bhushan Mishra. The next day, we gave Pat and performed kirtan in the house of another lawyer, Dhirendranath Dev. Pat means like Harikatha. So they were doing Harikatha and kirtan in different houses. The next day, I went to the Diamond Harbor High School and narrated and explained the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. First, I sang kirtan. The headmaster has an MA in Sanskrit. There were 2 other teachers who were MSCs. I don't know, that's some scholarly title I never heard before. MS, big M, big S, and a small C. I was also introduced to the assistant teacher. So here Maharaj is simply describing about traveling and preaching. Let's see. Now, of course, the story of Dhruva Maharaj is very significant. It's one of the stories that Mahaprabhu wanted to hear from Sri Gadadhar Pandit 100 times. He wanted to hear the story of Dhruva Maharaj and the story of Prahlad Maharaj 100 times. Of course, that doesn't mean it stops at 100, but I guess Vrindavan Das Thakur was making a point in Chaitanya Bhagavat that 100 times over Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar Pandit to retell this story. August 29. Today is Lalita Saptami. That's I think it's like 2 days before Radhastami. Krishnananda Prabhu, Dinartinath Prabhu, Purna Pragya Prabhu, and I departed from Howrah station on the 1:44 p.m. train to Katwa. Katwa is the place where Mahaprabhu took sannyas. After arriving at Guru Dasa's house, we honored some prasad, chipped rice and yogurt. The next day, we went to another house and I read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then at 5 o'clock, we took prasad. On August 31st, Krishnananda Prabhu, Dinartinath Prabhu, Purna Pragya Prabhu, and I went to the place where Shriman Mahaprabhu had the darshan of Keshav Bharati and got initiated. We also had the darshan of Das Gangadhar's Prabhu's Samadhi and Keshav Goswami's Samadhi. After offering our dandavats at the place where Shriman Mahaprabhu rested under a tree, we had the darshan of the deities in the temple. There we performed kirtan and read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So as you can hear, there's a lot of reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's also makes me think of Srila Prabhupada, because also when he was on the Jaladuta, he had the Chaitanya Charitamrita with him. And he has described in his diary from there that like sometimes he was very sick on that journey. As you may have heard before, he had several heart attacks, and but he wrote in his diary that he's kind of taking solace in reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's kind of where he gets his energy from to continue. September 3rd. After dusk, we went to the bungalow of Sri Janakilal Khande, the well-known businessman from Katwa. There I read Lord Brahma's prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam and explained them. So that's most likely the Brahma Stuti, which our Sripad Bhakti Pranay Padmanabha Maharaj has finally given a whole series on each of those prayers. Very much worth going through. Today, many Vaishnavas were present, such as Shripad Sridhar Maharaj, Keshav Maharaj, Naraharida, and many others. In addition, many Vaishnavas came from Calcutta and Champahati. And October 29. On the morning of the 29th, I set forth for Sri Navadvip Dham. I went to Banagram, then to Krishnanagar, and from there to Navadvip Ghat. After 7:30 in the evening, I went to Sri Vangshidas Babaji Maharaj and stayed at his place for a long time. After that, I took a boat to the Manipur Ghat. I had some chipped rice and coconut laddus with me. Srila Sridhar Maharaj and all of us shared that. The next day, in the afternoon, we had Harikatha and Kirtan in the Rajbari of Manipur, so the royal house of Manipur. The day after that, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Sripad Bhakti Vijay Prabhu, Naraharida, Radha Govinda Prabhu, and I gave some Harikatha and performed Kirtan there. The following day, I gave some Harikatha there. So again, this all Puri Maharaj mentioning about sharing the prasadam with Srila Sridhar Maharaj and others. It brings to mind this text of the Upadesh Amrita, the nectar of instruction. But the ways that Vaishnavas associate is by giving gifts and receiving gifts, by offering prasad and accepting prasadam from other Vaishnavas, and also to speak with them in confidence and also listen to what they confidentially tell you. November 4. This morning, Naraharida read from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Today is the end of Urja Vrata. So it's the last day of Kartik. Sakhi Babu arranged for a festival for the spiritual well-being of his daughter who had passed away. At noon, Sri Sri Giridhariju was offered bhoga with many items. In the afternoon, I read Prahlad Maharaja's pastime in the house of Sri Yukta Suresh Chandra Bhattacharya, who was Srila Sridhar Maharaja's cousin brother from his, like here, it's, you say Purva Ashram, so it means like it was Srila Sridhar's cousin from before he took sannyas. So implying here that when you take sannyas, then like family connections don't have the same meaning anymore. Today I discussed Prahlad Maharaja's pastimes in great detail, up to the verse Tat Sadhu Maniye. Kirtan was sung, quite a few people were present. Everyone expressed a lot of satisfaction. After the program here, we did our reading again in that rented house as we did yesterday. Today, Radha Govinda Prabhu gave class. It was very nice. And if Puri Maharaj said it was very nice, then it must have been very nice. November 6. Today we observed Niyam Bhanga, which I'm assuming is that you break the kind of fast after Kartik of the things you have been fasting from. Needless to say, since I came to Navadvip, I have been bathing in the Ganga every day. I am feeling a lot of joy by worshipping the deities. This afternoon, the reading did not take place in the royal house. Instead, it took place in the rented house. First, I explained a verse from the 3rd chapter of the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then I read from the 20th chapter of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and I sang the Kirtan. Shripad Nara Harida read the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat in the morning. Later, I read Srimad Bhagavatam in the house of Suresh Babu. After that, Shripad Radha Govinda Prabhu read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the rented house. So as you can see, the diary entries is mainly about reading the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, many readings every day. This is a very beautiful life. November 9. Today, Keshav Maharaj, Haridas, Vasudev, and I set forth for Calcutta on the afternoon train. Purna Pragya Prabhu came on the noon train. November 11. At 11 o'clock this morning, I received a letter from Nani, which is maybe his sister or something like this, because it says here, mother's health is very bad. Her illness is worse. She is very anxious to see me. Hearing this, my heart became restless. That is why I got ready to leave for home. Vasudev was with me. Arriving at home, I saw that mother is bedridden. Every day she has fever. Her body is very weak. She was very happy to see me. In the morning, November 30. In the morning, as usual, I performed my morning duties and puja. Then I cooked bhoga and offered it. Then I took a boat to Daulatpur on my way to Pani Babu's house. Charu Didi and others gave me 4.5 rupees. I started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and when I reached Daulatpur station, I met a gentleman who is acquainted with Pani Babu. He requested me to give a class at their ashram. We decided I could do that on my way back. Then I took a train to Khulna, and from there I took a rickshaw to the Ghat and crossed the Rupasa river. Then I took another train to the Bagerahat line. I reached the 3rd station, Mulaghar, around noon. From there, I went to Pani Babu's in-laws' house, along with a porter whom I had hired at the station. The whole house was overcome with grief. The darkness of sorrow has enveloped it. Everyone has become crazy thinking of Nimai. Pani Babu's wife's health has been affected. Seeing their sorrow, I could not hold back my tears. In the evening, I read from Srimad Bhagavatam. The next morning, I sang Kirtan and read again. After performing my anik, I cooked the bhoga. Then I distributed prasadam. After this, I took a little rest and read some books. Then I spoke some more Harikatha. In the evening, I read from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before and after this, I performed Shokashatan Kirtan. It means grief-destroying Kirtan. Never heard of this, but every now and then I tried to console Pani Babu, his wife, and his old father-in-law and mother-in-law. Pani Babu's middle son, Nimai, died a week before last Wednesday at the age of 17 or 18. Pani Babu is quite strong. These people are very poor, but their hearts are very good. December 12. Today, after taking prasadam, I went to have darshan of the lotus feet of Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. Shripad Keshava Maharaj, Nrishingananda, and Hari Vinod went with me. Today in the garden of Suren Kunda, Ashta Prahar, 8 Prahar, that is 24-hour. Okay, so a 24-hour kirtan was going on at this place called Suren Kunda. Radha Govinda Madhusudhan was singing the kirtan. When he was singing the kirtan and dancing, Babaji Maharaj was shedding tears. This was the first time I saw tears in Babaji Maharaj's eyes. The next day, after taking prasad, I left for Ganganandapur. Before leaving, I asked for Babaji Maharaj's blessings. So this is nice to hear to see kind of any glimpse about Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, because there is not so much information about him. It is said that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw this Vamsidas Babaji as like the only like kind of real Babaji around, while he felt like the others were more like imitators, but this Vamsidas was like genuine. But he was behaving very in a very unorthodox way. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told his disciples to kind of keep some distance so that they don't misunderstand Vamsidas Babaji. And now we're moving into 1942, so January 3rd. Today, after finishing all my morning work and taking prasad, I wrote a letter to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. In the afternoon, I went to the Datta neighborhood and recited verses and performed kirtan there. Last night, I saw the deity of Sri Madan Mohan in my dream, as well as many other deities. So Madan Mohan is the deity of Srila Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan. It's he is the deity that presides over Sambandha Gyan, the knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. And then that's Radha Govinda presides over Abhideya, the practice, and Shri Gopinath over the prayojan, the goal of our sadhana. On April 4, today, after taking prasad, I left for Navadvip by the 2:30 p.m. train. I arrived at the Navadvip Ghat, and from there went to Shripad Sridhar Maharaj's ashram. There I had darshan of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Naraharida, and Ramdas Prabhu. The next day, after finishing morning duties, we went to have the darshan of Sri Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. At that place, one Kagendranath Goswami, who came from Vakreshwar Seva Ashram in Pulbere, was singing the Kalanka Bhanjan Kirtan. After hearing that we went to have darshan of Mahaprabhu's house and the samadhi of Sri Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj. After hearing that, we went to have darshan of Mahaprabhu's house and the samadhi of Sri Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj. The next day, after having the darshan of Sri Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, we went to have darshan of the samadhi of Srila Gaurakishore Das Babaji Maharaj. February 23rd, I took the night train to Navadvip, and on the 24th of February, I disembarked at Banaga. Later that morning, I took the 9 a.m. train from Krishnanagar to Navadvip. I took a boat from Navadvip Ghat to Manipur Ghat. When I reached the mat, I bathed and then honored prasadam. The next day was Srila Prabhupada's, and this means Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's 69th Vyasa Puja festival. Nityananda Prabhu, Satish Babu, and the Didis from Champahati also came. After the morning kirtan and reading, I performed Guru Puja in my mind and then started kirtan. Narahari Prabhu performed the Archana. I said a few words about the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. Then I sang the Mahamantra. I shed a lot of tears with great emotion. But where will I find the tears of divine love? I was only trying to submit very earnestly that without the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, there was no hope for a fallen soul like myself. First, Gokula Das Babaji, then Nityananda Prabhu, then Naraharida, and then I myself and others offered Pushpanjali. 70 devotees took prasadam. In the evening, I said a few words about Vyasa Puja. March 2nd. After performing my morning duties and worshipping Shri Shri Gaura Gadadhar, I cleaned and decorated the temple room by the desire of Parameshvarida. He told me about worshipping Narayan with the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Param Aradhya, Srila Gurudev, gave him that mantra. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had given this mantra to Parameshvarida, a god brother. The next afternoon, Shripad Sridhar Maharaj, Hayagriva Prabhu, Bhuta Brita Prabhu, and Nrishingananda Prabhu came. In the evening, I sang the kirtan. Srila Sridhar Maharaj explained such verses as Namashreshtam and Tavad Bhayam. So Srila Puri Maharaj is just mentioning about hearing from Srila Maharaj explanations of, for example, this verse, Namashreshtam. That's the one that Padmanabha Maharaj is saying at the beginning of his Mangalacharana. It's a very important verse from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, where he says that he received from his guru the highest conception of the holy name. So Namashreshtam, kind of the treasure of the holy name. So not like more than receiving the holy name itself, to receive the understanding of all that is in the holy name according to like Mahaprabhu's perspective. May 25th, I was introduced to him, Babu, who is Paritosha's maternal uncle. At that time, I talked to the king of Burdwan about the temple. When I came back from there, I saw Surenda. Surenda got up from his seat and offered me his pranam. He gave me some medicine. He told me that on the next Ekadashi, he would go to Puri with Srila Madhava Maharaj. June 13, we started from Calcutta and got off the train at Bhubaneswar early in the morning. This is very near to Jagannath Puri. Singing kirtan all the while, we bathed in Bindu Sarovara. Then we went to the Tridandi Gaudiya Mat, and then we went to have darshan of Ananta Vasudev and of Shakshi Gopal. These are famous deities you can hear about in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We came to Puri, and the next day, singing kirtan, we went to Sri Radhakanta Mat. They went to Radhakanta Mat and to Siddha Bakul, and the house of Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. There, Shripad Madhava Maharaj and Shripad Yajavar Maharaj sang kirtan, and Shripad Yajavar Maharaj gave Harikatha. In the afternoon, we went to the Jagannath temple. After going to Svargadvar, we went to Bhakti Kutir, Shatasar Mat, Shri Jagadananda's Prabhu's place, and Shri Haridas Thakur's Samadhi. After bathing in the sea, we went to Shripad Bhakti Saranga Goswami Prabhu's mat and offered prayers at Purushottam mat. Then we went to Shri Gopinath's temple to have his darshan. The next day, we went on Athara Nala Pada Pita Parikram. So some type of parikram. Shripad Madhava Maharaj did the reading there. At Jagannath Vallabha Udyan, we met with Radha Vallabha Prabhu. Having gone to the Hanuman temple, we went to Narendra Sarovara and had darshan of Subhadra Devi. In the Athara Nala Padapit temple, I worshipped the deities and offered the bhoga. Shripad Madhava Maharaj and Shripad Yajavar Maharaj were also present. The next day, we went to participate in the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. This is if you haven't heard my Guru Maharaj's class on Gundicha Marjanam, I think it's just called either the cleansing of Gundicha or Gundicha Marjanam. You can find it on Shabda Brahman. It's a very beautiful lecture. It's also transcribed and published on the Harmonist. Very much recommended. There, under a tree, I read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shripad Madhava Maharaj gave a lecture. After visiting the Nrishinga temple and bathing in Indradyumna Sarovara, we went back to the Dharmashala, the guest house for pilgrims. The next day, after touching the water of Markandeya Sarovara, we came to Devi Datta Dharmashala. After Sri Jagannath Dev's Pahandi, the chariots of Sri Jagannath, Sri Baladev, and Srimati Subhadra Devi came. So this is they are there in Puri for the Ratha Yatra. The king swept the road. Then we sang kirtan and danced in front of the chariots. We also pulled the chariots. The next day, we went to Chakratirtha and had darshan of Beri Hanuman. There we spoke Harikatha about the glories of Nila Madhava and the Daru Brahma Mahatmya of Sri Jagannath Dev, like how Jagannath Dev appeared in wood, Daru Brahma, like spiritual wood. In the afternoon, I went on a rickshaw with Surenda Mahashai to visit Sri Kapal Mochan Mahadev, Sri Puri Goswami's well, and Sri Lokanath Mahadev. Then we brought from the market a picture of Sri Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, and some Mahaprasadam. Later, Sri Padmadava Maharaj and I went to the Gundicha temple. There, Sri Baladev was on the chariot. Gangadhar Daitapati picked us up on the chariot, where we had Sri Baladev's darshan and touched him. So I'm going to stop there with Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Maharaj touching the deity of Sri Baladev in Jagannath Puri. It's a very auspicious ending. And yes, we have come to the end. I don't think there is much to comment on, but if anyone has a comment, you may comment, or I will end here in a minute. Okay, thank you very much for joining this auspicious session. We kind of went through little more than a year in the life of Srila Puri Maharaj. And it is especially, if you just have some more time today to just think of Srila Puri Maharaj, it's very powerful to think of pure Vaishnavas on the day of their appearance or disappearance, because they are especially kind of present on these sacred days. So we will get their blessings, especially on these days, if we pray to them, focus on them. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you for the translation.